Ah, I can't see anything.
I can't say anything.
You just said something. Team 3. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us here at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're reviewing the game Team 3 from Brain Games. This is from designers Matt Fantastic and Alex Color.
This game is a 3-player cooperative game. If you add in a second set, you can then play it as a team versus team game. It takes about 15 minutes to play. Brain Games sent us a couple copies of the game. Let's take a look at how it's played. In the game, you'll select a player for each role, the architect, the supervisor, and the builder, and you'll give the builder the plastic blocks.
Choose a difficulty level and draw a card. The timer starts and the architect must communicate without talking to the supervisor on how to build the structure.
The supervisor must tell the builder how to go about the construction, but the builder must keep his eyes closed.
Players will swap roles and play continues until they've completed enough buildings for their difficulty level, but if they fail, they lose.
And if they successfully build the structure shown on the card, then they win. It's a really simple, very simple concept, but it's actually a very difficult game to play. And then if you play it team versus team, it's even more difficult because you're not just racing against the clock, you're racing against other players, and you're overhearing some of the things that they're saying, and it becomes this crazy, loud, fun party experience, but it's definitely not an easy game.
The architect must be able to communicate clearly, and when you do that, you can't do things like point at the specific blocks on the table, and so it makes them think a little outside the box on how to communicate to the supervisor on what pieces to pick up and put in what locations.
Yeah, usually the guy that can't talk or can't see is just like feeling around the board like crazy, trying to find the piece. The other guy is telling him, no, a little to the left, a little oh, nope, the W-shaped one. And so he's figuring out which one's the W-shaped one. And then the difficulty levels on the cards range from, like, this is a reasonable 3 blocks stacked on top of each other, to here is a gravity-defying chaos crazy piece. I am not even capable of comprehending how to do any of those parts on that. The game is a lot of fun. I think if you're going to play with kids, while it looks like a fun, bright, happy kid game, if you're going to play with kids, you need to be in a low-stress environment, because the game does induce I don't know what to say, I just can't communicate it, he's not getting it, I don't know what to do feeling. And so if you're playing with kids, make sure that everybody's having fun and that you're all friendly and good.
When you're playing with adults, you would definitely ramp it up on the stress level. Playing against the clock is something that you can do for just playing with 3 players and 1 box. And then you need to get through a certain number of cards and you rotate positions so that everybody is doing something different. We found that some people are very good at one of the roles and not as good at some of the other roles, so it does ramp up the challenge level there.
And you definitely do improve the more that you play it too, because you kind of learn some of the shortcuts and what people are referring to. You kind of figure out hand symbols that make sense, and so it's good that the game kind of ramps up as you go, because it's hard to just even comprehend how to communicate without speaking or whatever to certain players in the game. But then as you go throughout the game, everybody kind of learns the secret language of Team 3.
If you pick up the second copy, all of the cards that are what you're supposed to be building are all new, different cards. So you basically double the amount of playtime that you get.
And this copy of the game did come with an expansion where it's you only see the side view of what the pieces might look like. So the guy who's looking at the card and communicating it can kind of invent however he needs to be able to stack those pieces so that they match what's in the card. Although it might, different people could have different solutions to the same card, which is interesting.
If this sounds like something you are interested in, check out Team 3 from Brain Games. And then thanks for watching our videos and subscribing to Tantrum House.
You dropped it.